Hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going? I got one of my favorite people in the world coming on, man. I usually on his show every Friday, and I'm gonna bring him on, man, because he's real passionate about what's been going on in the world today. And I really want to bring him on so people can hear a different perspective, a different point of view than what I've been saying and what some of the other guys have been saying on Roll Call Tuesday. So, without any further ado, I want to bring my man on, Bobby D. How you doing, Bobby D?
How you doing today, brother?
I can't hear you, Bobby D.
At least you mess with the mic. I told you to leave the mic. How about now?
Yeah, I can
Is
hear
that
you now.
at least you mess with the mic? I don't, they can't see your face. They can't see your. They can see my face and they can hear me loud and clear.
Oh
Right?
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. We can hear you loud and clear.
I'm doing good, man. A little bit still devastated with the recent shooting that went on in Uvalde, Texas. 18-year-old guy shot up school, shot his grandmother in the face, and the world is still just trying to figure out where we are as far as mass shootings and what's going on in America. Okay? We got several people in the United States Senate that's holding up the gun laws that could change things. And this is happening over and over again. It's been 10 years since Sandy Hook, and the same thing continues to happen over and over and over again. This is a very, very sad indictment on the American people. Okay? We are the only country in the world that has a mass shooting almost every other day. Okay, every 7 to 10 days is a mass shooting. The day is what 26 in my country. So next month, next 10 days, 7 to 10 days, there'll be another one. And so we have gotten good at reacting. Okay, we always get out there, policemen out there in 2 or 3 minutes. They on the scene, and active shooters there, and they're trying to arrest them, whatever. That's good. We're good at that. Yeah. But what about the prevention? What about the part that says uh, increase the strength of the gun law, make them more stringent? This 18-year-old guy was able to purchase two AR assault weapons on his 18th birthday. On the
Yep.
17th of May, and I think the 18th of May, he became 18 years old. And he purchased two assault weapons and 375 rounds of ammunition. Now, the question was, if you sell an 18-year-old kid that kind of ammunition, don't you have some kind of responsibility to let somebody know? I told you I'm a gun dealer. You coming in, you buy two AR assault. You 18 now, and then you come the next day and buy 375 rounds. I'm supposed to tell somebody. Whoever sold them, they are culpable. They have a problem, and they should be held accountable for selling an 18-year-old that weapon. And then, I mean, there's nothing wrong. It's legal, but still, it's the moral morality of it, the moral ethic. You're gonna sell an 18-year-old, and you know the way the world is today, and don't say nothing about it. They need to get the person that sold him there, and then the person that after the kid got out the car, they had no business letting them get in the classroom. Popo was there. They was listening to the guy watching him with the weapon, and then let him walk right into the classroom. And he barricaded himself in the classroom and shot up the kids. They need to sue the gun owner, the businessman that sold them their guns and the ammo. They need to sue the people that was employed that let the man the guards. They need to sue them. Everybody need to be sued. We got 21 people gone, eh? And they ain't not coming back, man. They gone. And somebody needs to be held accountable. And the only way we're going to hold these people accountable is to take it to the street. You know, as black people, we had to get the right to vote. Yeah, we had to get the right to go to school with the white folks. We had to get desegregation. How did we get it? We took it to the street. And that's what's going to have to happen. We can no longer sit on our butts and our do nothing and let these little kids go get killed like this no more. It's time out for that. We got to be responsible. The little kids are gone. They can't speak for themselves. The only people that's left is me and you and the people like us that saw the evil that went down. And if we don't do nothing about it, we just as evil as the one that did the shoot. Okay? We got to do something. Those of you that listen to me right now, email your congressman, email your senator, email your mayor, talk to them. Tell them how mad you are. Tell them how upset you are. Tell them you want more stringent gun laws. This has to be stopped. And Biden, if you listen to me, let me tell you something, Mr. Biden. You have the right to do an EO, executive order, to say, look at here, from this point forward, Anybody want to buy a gun, you got to have a stringent background check. This is my plan right here. This is the plan of a Bobby D. I say this. If you want to buy a gun, okay, you 18, you 21, okay, you of age, okay, fine. But you're going to have to take a year wait. You're going to have to wait a 1 year period. And during that 1 year period, you make monthly payments paying for that gun. And when you pay for that gun, you make another payment to pay for your background check. Okay? Because we need to check you out. See if you crazy, if you got some white supremacist tendencies, we need to check and see how you are, who you are, and we need to check your social media sites, all of that. And after the time you done paid for your gun, you're gonna go down to the police precinct and they're gonna give you your gun. But before they give you your gun, they're gonna interview you. And then they're gonna check your social media site right on the spot. Hmm? And then if you still want that gun after all of that, they'll let you have, but they're gonna monitor you for 30 days. You're gonna be in a probationary period for 30 days. That's how we need to do. We gotta have some kind of more stringent laws in this country. I'm not against I'm not against guns. Guns ain't the problem. You think guns is the problem? Nah. Does a gun shoot itself? Does a gun shoot? No. Guns do not shoot themselves. The people that use the guns are the problem. We are the problem. I want me a weapon. If I go to the United States, I'm gonna get me a gun. I'm sorry. That's what I'm gonna do it. Because it's so bad out there, man. I've never owned a weapon in my life. But if I go back to live in the United States, if a dog on America right now, I will buy me a gun. As soon as I get off the plane, I'm gonna go to my first gun shop because it's that bad out there. Anytime you go to a school, anytime you go to a Walmart, somebody can come in there and shoot up the place. I want some protection. Okay. So I'm not against guns. I'm against the ease of getting guns. And I'm against the people the wrong type of people getting the guns in their hands and causing the crimes that we have. That's why I feel about the Uvalde shooting tragedy. It's another tragedy. And but guess what? What happens? Statistics tell me that in 7 to 10 days, we will have another shooting. It may not be 19 people, maybe 2 people, maybe 4, but we will have it just based on the statistics. Huh? Okay, I'm sorry, Markel.
It's all good, Bobby D. Don't worry about it.
What I eat? I'm sorry, man. Go ahead, Markel.
No. It's all good, Bobby D. I'm glad that you're passionate about this, man, to wake up some people because unfortunately, the president can only do so much. It's the states.
Right.
The states are going to still do what they do.
That's right.
Like in the state of Arizona, there's no background check. You don't have to have a background. You can go to a gun show. Somebody legally bought it. They can turn around and sell it to you with just a receipt and your signature. There ain't no background check, no nothing needed, and buy as many as they want. There's nothing stopping them. You can go to Walmart, buy all the rounds 7.62, whatever you want to get. If it's at Walmart, you can buy as much as you want. Now at Walmart, they got a weird policy. I can buy AR-15 at 18. I can buy a shotgun. I can buy a rifle, but I can't buy a handgun till I'm 21.
You buy AR-15 or rifle shotgun, you can't buy a handgun. That's crazy.
Can't buy a handgun. Walmart. But at a gun show, Bobby D, I can get a 30-round magazine. I can get a 50-round magazine. Yeah. I can't buy it in Walmart, but I can just go to a local gun show and buy all the barrels. I can sit there with a tummy gun if I want and just let it fly.
Walmart is about the money. That's all that is. And they're trying to be morally correct. So we got a law that prevent people from, they can't buy a gun. We got that on the books. And that's what they do. They're trying to protect their CYA, cover their butt. That's all that is.
Right.
So say they can't get a weapon, but they can get an AR. Yep.
Yeah. Crazy. Here's one. He's saying that the VA say he can't have a handgun due to his PTSD. But you got kids out there on Ritalin and all kind of medication because no background check. Walk right in there or buy it online and have it delivered right to their house.
And just because you can't get a handgun, Bernard, you can get somebody else to get you one. And that's another get away around it. Get your friend, get your gun, and be protected. But that it may be illegal, but he could probably give you the gun, but you could borrow the gun, to get what you want done. So there's always a way around this, but we have got to get a hold of this gun situation, my friends. If we don't, everybody will be worried about the kids going to school in the morning. and it's the world will be a more terrible place than what it is. We've got to get a hold of this. And in my opinion, the only way to do it is to get on our legislative case. Get on Biden's case, it starts from him. You know, get on his case. He's scared. He's scared to do something because he might miss votes in 24. You know, uh, all the law people, Trump, all of them, they're scared. They're scared to mess with the NRA. And the only way we're gonna get this stopped is we put the NRA in its place, which is down to the ground. Let them know lives are more important than dollars and guns. Okay? That's what we gotta do. We gotta be tough. You know, because these maniacs, they have no remorse. They have no feeling. It's like the little 18-year-old kid. He had no feeling, man. He
No.
was he was
Video
insane.
games, Bobby D, desensitized from video games, virtual reality. You
We
sit
talked
there and
about
you play those games all day long. You get desensitized to blood, to shooting, to whatever, because it's so realistic in the video games. It's like it's desensitizing to
yes,
whatever they're doing.
it's lifelike. That's all they want to do. Do a video game all day and night, 365. And then when they get through with the video game, like I told them yesterday, they shut the video game off, right? But it's still going on in your head. You go to sleep, you get up, and then you walk to school. You wish you all you see in your mind is the video game. And your teacher says something mad that you don't like, all you see is your video game hitting your back. You know? That's we got to stop that stuff. People, and that's all you know what video games popular for the money. They
Yep.
making money out of it. The love of money, man. Money is making this world go crazy. But lives are more important than that. There's a lot of things going on, and we have to get a hold of this thing that's happening to us as far as these mass shootings because it's not getting any better.
No, no. And you're right. We all need to contact Congress people, senators, even if you got to start on the local level, which are just your I forgot what you call them, the person right there in your local level.
Mayors,
Start from there and work your way up. But it's a shame, Bobby D, that the last thing you think of, you get that phone call at work. Your child has been involved in a shooting, and they got to deliver bad news to you. I mean, bro,
that's a
I
hurting thing.
I talked to my cousin earlier today. He got three younger kids. They're still in school, and he's so afraid, dude. He put them in a private school where it's gated. You if you ain't got a card to get, you ain't getting in the building. Your name ain't on the list. You can't even get in. Okay, that's where they go to school. It's a shame, bro, because growing up as a kid, we never had no problems like that. We never had to worry about somebody coming to a school and the school was wide open. The door stayed wide open.
Anybody coming?
We never had no metal detector. What the hell's a metal detector? Nobody frisking us, patting us down.
Yeah, none of that. And the only problem we had in school back in them days was at the end of the school year, he wanted to duke it out. They used the fist. And then every now and then they might pull out a knife, but it's usually the fist. You know it's gonna be some fight with your enemy at the end of the school. But you be ready. You know,
Right.
girls they get the little grease and run around their face and take their shoes off. Say, "Come on, y'all, let's go." That's all
Bobby
it is.
D, the worst thing I ever seen at school was somebody try to sneak a little marijuana in the school,
Yeah,
and that was it. You know, somebody might try to bring us some beer or some marijuana. Nobody even got a knife. Nobody bringing a gun. I told them yesterday, Bobby D, my parents would beat me unmercifully. I
dog.
even thought about bringing a gun, but and I
Okay,
said it's discipline. There's no discipline no more. There's none.
that's another issue. Lack of discipline in the family, and kids are doing whatever they want to do, and the family members, the parents, let them do it. You know, and the problem is a lot of the parents were disciplined, growing up, but they have dropped the ball with their own kids. That's why I said the kids, if you were born in the 80s, the 90s, and above and below, you got a problem because you probably undisciplined. I could profile that 90s person right now. You're probably like what, 30, 25, 30 years old. You went to school and you did terrible. You dropped out of school. You didn't give a damn. Your parents didn't give a damn. And now you run around trying to get you a girl and trying to straighten it up because you wasn't raised right and you know something ain't wrong right with you and you trying to get it right. That's what's happening to a lot of millennials right now. They was raised with people, their parents dropped the ball on raising them, and now they really see they messed up and their parents messed them up and they trying to straighten it up. That's what's happening. Lack of discipline, lack of parental authority, and lack of parental love and caring to raise their children. I thank goodness I'm a baby boomer. I was born in the era where my mama told me something. I said, yes, ma'am. I didn't say yeah. I said, what you lady? I didn't call her the B word. I didn't call her, I didn't, I dare my, I dare call my mama the B word. Not me into the bar.
After you wake up, Bobby D, and your eye closed, you be like, huh?
But they, and then don't call her by her first name. Oh, yeah. What you say? I'm in Florence. What? Just say mama. But see, that's it. It's a lack of respect for the parents. And when you don't respect your parents, who is to say you respect your teacher? How can you respect your principal? How can you respect the police? How can you respect any type of authority figure? A lack of respect, a lack of discipline, and that's where we are right now.
I'm telling you, Bobby D, I had access to all kind of weapons. Never crossed my mind to even think of bringing a weapon. Dude, no way. No way I was even thinking about something like that. No way. No way.
Anything goes nowadays, Mark. Anything goes. And that's a sad indictment on the world in which we live. The society is going down. It's going way,
Yeah.
way down. And America is leading the way. We are leading the way in negativity. Uh,
Yeah.
every time you turn around, it's another shooting. If it ain't a shooting, somebody try to do it. Or, it's always some craziness, and we're leading the way. Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a statistic today, man. America leads in the number of what was it? How did they put it? Mass murder, mass shootings in the world. They was like they counted it out from this year of how many mass shootings, and they used the number four, as the minimum of
Right.
four.
Yeah. Four is the minimum amount of people to be killed.
Right.
Yeah.
We're already what 5 months into the year, and America is leading the way.
Yeah.
There are
21.
more guns in the United States in people's homes than there are citizens, and that includes every man, woman, and child. That is crazy.
Right.
That's crazy.
You know, we have to we have to justify what we do because we have a law. The Second Amendment says we have the right to bear arms. Okay, I go with that. But the
Yeah.
law needs to be adjusted to say that people with right minds have the right to bear arms. If you crazy, you have no right to put that gun in your hand.
Bobby
If you
D,
like in Arizona, your state, anybody crazy man come out the loony house and go buy him a gun and shoot up the people. That's crazy. You have no right with that weapon. So laws have to be adjusted. And I found out that the leading cause of death in children used to be car accidents. Now the leading cause of death in children 1 to 19 is mass shooting, guns. Okay, so we got a problem, and it's not getting any better. We look to our leadership to help get this problem resolved, and we're not getting any leadership on this. They're getting stalled tactics.
Bobby D, we
All
need
companies is just trying to stop
Bobby D. We need to start with term limits with these people because you got the same old that's been in there 20, 30 years plus.
it.
No new ideas, no nothing. The same old same. You got to have term limits. Just like the president has a term limit, these congressmen, these senators, these elected officials need to have term limits.
That's
You
it.
hit the age of 55, 60 years old. Okay, you done. You got one term. Somebody else need to come in, change it up. There's too many bright minds out there that can come up with new ideas and new strategies, and we keep doing the same old till this senator passes. He didn't groom his son. Now his son is in there for the next 30, 40 years.
They have to,
No.
there has to be a term limit change, and what the problem is. You got like in the Philippines, there's a dynasty. The dynasties run the Philippines. We just had a change here in leadership. Marcos, uh, Duterte rather, got here they have 2 terms for president. Excuse me, they have 1 term. You can only run for 6 year, 1 6 year term. So what happens is he got his daughter. He's the vice president now, and then his little boy. I call him his boy, Marcos Jr. You remember Marcos, right?
Yeah.
Marcos, his son. He's now the president. So all of this family control
He's
here.
the president?
Yeah, he'll be the he's the elected president. He'll be elected. He'll be swearing him in on the 9th of June.
Oh, that's just like having the same guy there. Ain't nothing gonna change.
It's just like having Duterte and his daddy, the dictator, Ferdinand Marcos first. You know? Well, I couldn't say this stuff on my show, but I can say it on your show. It's getting on my show, but I can say it on your show. Hey man, it ain't right. It ain't right. But families control the Philippines. Dynasties. They got dynasties, family dynasties control this country. And it's wrong. It's been doing it. And the way this country elects people, they don't look at your platform. They don't look at what programs you have to get problems solved. They look
Right.
at Bonbon Marcos Jr. did not have one debate with any of his any other people that were running. Not one debate. Not one.
Wow.
And he won it by a landslide. You know why? Because people here vote by popularity. And then Bonbon Marcos is going to raise taxes on the people. And he already is guilty of not paying his taxes for 4 years. He owed 203 billion pesos to the
You
government.
don't own nothing now. You don't own nothing now.
The books. As soon as he get it off.
Well, Bobby D, the politics here are similar to the US. I was watching a debate earlier today before I had to go to an appointment, and it's a full court press on the guy who's leading. All the papers talking about his policy don't include this, and
Right.
they really don't want this guy elected. If you read any of the papers or watch any of the news, because they've never had a leftist as president in this country. They've always been right wing. The whole political structure here has always been right wing.
Okay.
This guy and an Afro-Colombian vice president is left wing. Okay. And they got a full court press because the election is Sunday and they don't want them to be elected. And it's going to be something. He's so far ahead in the polls. I don't see how the other guy can win, but hey.
So who is the incumbent? Who is that? Who's in office right now?
Oh, he's gone. What's his name? What's his name? Duquois? Duquois? Something like that. He's out. He's out.
How is this? I mean, how is he? How did he do when he was in office?
He was okay. He because this was during the pandemic. He was in that term with the pandemic, and he got mixed reviews. Some people like him, some people hate him. But like I said, this whole political structure here has been right wing the whole way. It has not been left at all. Never in its history has it ever had a left wing president. If this goes through, they're gonna have one come Sunday.
And he's high on the polls right now, right? High in the ratings.
Bobby D, he 3.5 times higher than this guy. Wow. And we got less than 4 days for them to elect the president.
Okay. So he more than likely will get in there. And it's gonna be
But this is Colombia. This is Colombia.
I got to hold up on that.
Hey, this is Colombia.
Where you at, man? The cartel may have a say so.
Because they already using scare tactics. If you read the papers and watch the news, they using scare tactics telling people, don't come out here and vote for this man. You don't know what he gonna do this and he gonna do that. And it's gonna be wild. These next few days, it's gonna be wild.
I hope we got some good security, man. But in Colombia, they get you. But man, it's time for a change. People have to get up a little bit. We got to get rid of Trump. He gone. Biden come in. Biden, some things good. Most part, I just want to slap him sometimes, because he ain't with it. He ain't with it. I voted for him, but I'm like, man, why don't you get with it?
Bobby, they so scared when they get in office that they gonna do the wrong step and they won't get reelected. That's why they need term limits. You put term limits on people, they gonna vote freely. As long as they got the opportunity to get reelected again and again and again, no, they're gonna try to walk right on that fence. They're gonna try to ride the fence as long as they can to please their people instead of voting what's right for the country.
Exactly.
That's basically what happens.
Yeah, term limits will stop a lot of that because you only have one term. You don't think about I'm going to do it again, and then you ain't got to compromise your standards. You can be more correct for the people rather than being politically correct. And that's what's happening right now. There's no term limits. They want to be reelected over and over again. So they satisfy the corporate people that give them donations, like the gun places, gun companies, the gun lobbyists. They look out for them because they know the campaign money is coming. They don't want to stop that campaign money from coming.
Yeah, Afro-Colombian lady. And boy, Bobby D, they talked about her like a dog. Boy, you would think that one was African American, the way they
Oh,
talked about her.
so she's African Colombian.
Right.
Because she got
She's
dark skin,
Afro-Colombian. Yeah.
melanin in her skin like us.
Oh yeah. Darker than you.
Anytime they see this melanin in our skin, like this dark chocolate I got, they get crazy. What? They
Bobby
can't.
D, during a live debate, the man called her a monkey.
What? What? Are you serious, man?
During a
Oh,
live debate, when they were first doing the whole process earlier last year, because I watched all the debates, I was curious to see how they were gonna treat her.
yeah.
This one guy got up there, dude. Yeah. This a whole different world here. This is a different world. This ain't America. This is a different world here. But it was all over the paper, and I did a video. I put the what he said front page in a video I did on my other channel.
Right.
And like, why nobody else talking about this? This guy literally sat there and called this woman a monkey, but you hear no other YouTubers talking about it other than the local YouTubers here.
Right.
All these guys on here promoting Colombia. Not one of them said anything. Not one.
I ain't heard that, man. If I'd have heard that, I would have did a show on that. Man, if he'd have called me that, me and him would have been tussling on the stage. But let this monkey slap you one time.
Hey,
Yeah. They
you know,
to see how she would react.
yeah.
Showboat.
But she kept her cool, man. She kept her cool, and there was a lot of people that came out and you know, basically cussed this guy out and called him all kinds of names and whatnot. But it was surprising, man. When I saw, I was like, wow, they just say whatever. Because this is not the States, man. I keep trying to let people know that y'all, every time somebody tries to compare something, Bobby D, they love to use where they come from to compare it to where they are.
Yeah. And
you can't do that.
Yeah,
you got to adapt.
Yeah, go back where you came from. That's another one.
You got to adapt to where you at.
Yeah,
if you can't adapt to where you are, you're not going to make it. Because if every time you go, man, in the States, they'll do this. You ain't in the States. You're not in the States. You can't compare what they did in a country that's not considered a developing country to a country that is still developing. You cannot do it.
And I get that all the time. You know, if I was in the USA, they don't do it like this. You know, you're not here. You're not in the United States. You're in the Philippines. You're not there, man. Adjust your mind. Reclimatize your mind. You're in a new place. You're in a new era. You're in a new time. And people, if you can't adjust, you ain't got no business going out the country. Stay where you are. That's what you need to do. I tell everybody, they get out here. They don't like the dogs. There's a bunch of dogs barking. A lot of chickens. All that roosters. They can't stand. That's why you just stay where you are. Coming out here, you can't adjust to it. Don't come out here complaining because I don't want to hear it. People always want to get someplace different and wind up complaining about where they are. And they should stay where they were because they cannot adjust. They're not flexible. If you're not flexible, ladies and gentlemen out there, you want to travel, you want to go out the country, you want to go to Colombia, you want to go to Philippines, you want to go to wherever, Europe, and you're not a flexible person, stay where you are. Okay? Because you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be angry because you're going to think you don't waste your money because you can't adjust to the noise, you can't adjust to how the people do things. Be flexible or stay your body. That's all it is.
Yeah, you see it all the time, Bobby D. Like just a straight example, airport. They got kiosks, just like in the States, at all the airports. They don't even use them. They'll have your ass stand in a line. Stand in a line, fill out this form to get your ticket. When you can just do it at the kiosk. But hey, I've learned, hey, stuff that we do in the States, that's in the States.
Right.
Okay. And I can sit there and say, you know, it'll be faster if they do it this way. But hey, I'm living their culture. Okay. Hey, we got to stand in line, stand in line. What I do, Bobby D, is figure out another way. Okay. I got to stand in this long ass line. No, I don't. I got a driver. Hey, come stand in this line. And when they get close, you text me. I'll come back and get in the line. That's what I do, Bobby D.
If you got it like that, do it. You know what I'm saying? You obey the rules and you're getting it done your way. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's
always a way around it.
What's up, Coop? You good, man?
Oh, hey. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Now, Bobby D, tell us what's going on in the Philippines, man. Anything new? New policies coming out? New changes at the airport? What's going on there?
Well, in the Philippines, it's the same old, but you can expect that there will be more stringent upon allowing certain people coming there. They're going to check your background more. Uh, we talked about a few weeks ago how they're going to begin checking the background of people that are veterans, because a lot of veterans have a lot of mental issues, especially if they,
Oh, they're
uh,
doing that there too.
hmm? Huh?
They're
They're
doing
going,
that there now too.
well, so I think that's maybe a worldwide phenomenon because they realize that you can't just let everybody in your country when they got some issues mentally. So that's what they're going to begin doing.
I got a question now. Now, does that pertain to just applying for residency, or that's just you coming in? Period. Like you just coming to visit. They may not even let you come in to visit.
Well, if you have a felony on your record, you can't get in. So if you have any kind, first, if you show them that you're a U.S. veteran, they're going to check your background out. If you've been in any kind of medical hospitals, mental hospitals from VA, something like that, they're going to stop.
1 second. What do you mean by show them you're a U.S. veteran? What do you mean by that?
Put down your application when you come into the country, you're a veteran. That's when they're going to get you, stop you, and check your background and so forth before they allow you into the country.
So there's a spot on the application you fill out.
There is going. It hasn't been in place yet, but that's what they're talking about doing because they
Oh,
have many people or expats come in this country causing problems, and a lot of expats that come in the country have found have been veterans with mental issues from the United States and other countries as well. So that's what we're talking about. It hasn't been implemented yet, but they're in discussion phase of it right now. As far as the politics, we got a president elect, Bongbong Marcos, which is the son of Ferdinand Marcos.
yeah,
Those who don't know, he was a dictator in the
yeah.
Philippines for over 20 years. They kicked him out, and he stole a lot of money from the Philippines, multi billions of pesos, and the family never returned all the money. Now they have elected the son, and the son already owes 203 billion pesos to the government. And now, when the sons get into office, he's going to raise the taxes on the people, and he hadn't even paid his taxes for 4 years. Not jacked up to this, but that's what's happening here in the Philippines. We got now they're talking about monkeypox.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. I've seen
It-
images of what that will do.
and Omicron is still rolling too. So it's a lot of issues out here. Oh, taxes are going to go. If y'all think about coming to the Philippines to live, to stay, retire, remember taxes are going to get sky high. The reason why the Philippines has 13 trillion pesos back because of the pandemic. They had to borrow money for this borrow money. They're 13 trillion pesos in debt. Trillion. Yeah, that's it.
Monkeypox.
Mm-hmm. That's bad. That is bad. Woo, Lord. I don't want that. I don't want that in my life. I don't need
Oh
that.
man, that's monkeypox.
Monkeypox is not something you don't want to deal with. It's sort of like chicken pox, but I think it's a little bit worse than that. The bumps are huge, humongous, and it's full of pus and all kind of diseases in that. You don't want that in your life. Love and freedom. What's up, brother? Yeah, man. So it's a lot of stuff going on down here, but the thing is that everything is going sky high. It's hard to find oil, so like cooking oil. It's hard to find bread, and all that's due to
Wow.
the war. And if you hadn't come to your area yet, keep on. It's gonna get there. You remember now, Ukraine is the bread. It's called the bread basket of the world. And what's happening in Ukraine right now? They got a war. Russia is stealing the grain, all the grain and stuff that Ukraine normally sends out and exports to the world. Russia is hoarding it because they got the area where the grain is from. They captured that area. So they're now stealing the grain from Ukraine. And now you're going to find grain going to be in shortage, oil's going to be in shortage, a whole lot of stuff is going to be in shortage. And it's going to all due to the war in Ukraine. The longer this war goes on, the more you will find shortages on the food shelves and the more your food prices will jump sky high. Third world countries going to catch H in 2023, starting the end of 2022, 2023, if this war continues to go on. So, guys, if you got money saved up, you better save up some more if you're trying to move out the country, especially trying to move to the Philippines. Things is going to get sky high here. And it's probably going to get that way in Colombia too, or it's all over.
I keep trying to tell people, man, they are so focused on well, it's cheaper. Everything's no, it's not. No, it's not. dude, labor, yes. Some apartments, yes. Outside of that, find anything that's got a name brand. It damn near twice what it is in the States.
Yeah, when you equate, when you get all the exchange rates and stuff, you equate, break it down, it costs right about more, maybe more than what you would pay for in the States. You have to take that in consideration. And I think that a lot of people that move overseas to these third world countries don't consider that.
They
They just say,
don't.
my money gonna go for, yeah, it might go a little bit further in one area, but what about all the other areas? You have to take that into consideration, and don't come out here with no, well, I got $5,000. I should live about 3 years on this. Oh, come on, man. You might live 2 months based on your lifestyle. You know, people need to grow up, and understand that wherever you move in this world, you just don't want enough. You need more than enough because you have to plan for things that may happen that you don't even understand is going to happen. You have to be ready. You have to have plan A, B, C, D, and E, and F, and G to make it in this world. And you got to have the mindset. If you don't have no money coming in overseas, you in trouble. Stay where you are.
Let me see. They're going to now punish vets with PTSD on a global scope in the U.S. for what mostly non-veteran citizens going postal here in the States. Not right. Mass shootings are done by non-vets. I understand what you're saying, Wayne, but a lot of vets are in these countries. And what happens is sometimes, like happened here in Colombia, somebody freaks out and they don't know how to handle it. They are not equipped to handle combat disabled veterans with PTSD. They don't know what to do. Okay, you're in a whole different country now dealing with people that, and most of the time when they come, they can't even speak the language. Now in the Philippines, they can speak English. Here is Spanish. You out there raising all kind of hell, cussing and going on, and nobody can even communicate with you because they can't speak English and you can't speak Spanish. That's mainly why they're doing it here in Colombia. It's already started. They're not going to give any vet that's 60% or higher with PTSD or any mental health rating um, a visa, citizenship, anything. They're not going to do it. And just like Bobby D talked about coming up in the future, there's probably going to be a spot on the application that said, "Are you a U.S. veteran?" And ain't no point in lying because they going to tell as soon as they pull up your passport, they going to see it right there. Boom, U.S. veteran. So
Oh,
there's no point in lying about it. But that's mainly why it's happening, Mr. Wayne. Is not that they're picking on veterans, is that veterans are mostly the ones who are overseas in these countries. And unfortunately, they stop taking their medication, different stressors may happen, and they freak out. And these countries, which are developing countries, are not equipped to handle veterans in those situations.
no, they're not equipped to handle them. That's why they're making this change because it's been happening a lot. I know Wayne says mostly non-vets cause these things, but there's some vets that cause it too. And so you cannot blame these third world countries, these smaller countries to protect their people. You can't blame them. I mean, they're doing the right thing. It's about protecting your people. It's about ensuring that, and you protecting the person with PTSD, he can pull a gun on himself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't blame them for doing it. It's good policy, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, man, but it's the world we live in now. And I gave y'all the three reasons why here. They don't, I mean, they're not going to do it anymore. One, they don't pay. Veterans don't pay. We get a retirement. We don't pay into their social security system here. That's number one. Number two, healthcare wise, they got nowhere to put you. Where are they going to put you? What facility do they have here that they can take a veteran and sit him in and have somebody to sit there and talk to him? And they don't have the facility or the money for that, right? And the third reason why is they're a threat to society. You freak out, you got a knife, you start stabbing people on the street, then what?
Yeah.
You know, so it's a slippery slope, dude. But these countries are looking at it like, okay, well, we can't have these guys here. That's just the bottom line. We can't have them here.
Yeah, they have the right to do it. For being precautious. And so I would rather be precautious than let 15 people slip in my country and maybe just one or two act a fool. I'd rather be precautious. Stay cautious. Our Kuba, what's up?
He said it's discrimination pretty much for health. I mean, it's their country, bro. They can do, yeah, I mean, they can do whatever they want to do. It's their country. They make the rules here for their country. And there's nothing we can do about it. I mean,
Oh,
coming here is not a right. Coming here, it's a privilege. I mean, I'm sorry, they give you the opportunity to come here, but it's not a given right for you to be in this country. They allow you to come in. If they want you to come in, they allow you to come in. If they don't want you in here, you got to go.
It is a privilege to get into another country. When you don't take that privilege light. I don't take it light. These people allow me to come here, and I'm gonna respect everything they tell me to do, whatever they tell me to wear, whatever taxes I gotta pay. I'm gonna do it because I want to be here. It's a privilege, and I respect these people. And I respect the right. So you talk about it's not fair. Who said life was fair? Who ain't nobody? Life ain't never been fair. Not long as I've been in this world. So we got to accept the fairness and the unfairness. That's just a part of life, man. Ain't nowhere you go. Anywhere you go in this world, it's gonna be some unfairness. We just need to move on, get beyond those things, and accept the things that we cannot change. Right? So discrimination. Yeah. Okay, maybe it is, but that's you got to deal with life. Discrimination is a part of life. You know, that's just a part of life, man. I can't. I've been discriminated against all my life. You know, and I'm still discriminated to this day. I got to deal with it. Like Brother James Brown said, that's something we got to deal with. We cannot change. Some things we cannot change. And we have to accept those things we cannot change. Change the things we can change, but don't go against the things you cannot change. Accept it and move on. Love and freedom.
So Mexico is jumping on the screening too with vet. Yeah. It's probably gonna hit worldwide. And I made a video. Me and Love and Freedom, Bobby D talked about this maybe 6-7 months ago, before all this hits. And we said, dude, there's going to be a bill, because I had been hearing about it back in 2020. There's going to be a bill that comes through that's going to prevent vets from living in these countries, not just here, in all these countries, because of PTSD, because of some of the behavior of some of the veterans in these countries, and they don't know how to deal with it. That's just facts.
Now, in the Philippines, it's just not going to be limited to vets. It's going to be limited to more expats altogether, because a lot of expats come over here, and I know you've seen these expats just cuss people out, want to cause people, want to fight. They had a guy from Great Britain came over here about 4 or 5 months ago. He was shooting people, cutting people, slapping people, and they got him out of here big time. Okay, so stuff like that. It's just not in the Philippines. It's just not going to be limited to vets, expats altogether. But they're going to be discriminating, find out more and more detail about these people before they let them in the country.
So they should be screening. We all know who, but it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, hey.
They should be screening everybody, not just veterans, but everybody. And so that and going to be screening more detailed, screening everybody, but they're going to detail more screening veterans more so, but everybody's going to be screened as well. If you got PTSD, Cooper, I can understand your concern. Okay, but if you don't have it, what's the problem? You're gonna be all right. So understand, man. This is for the better good of the whole. You can't just say, "Well, it's going to stop him." It's for the good of everybody.
Yeah, man. It's the world we're coming into. Remember in 2016, 2017 in the U.S., they associated car accidents, fender benders, incidents as PTSD casualties. They stated my wife accident, which a vehicle hit her from the back at 50 miles per hour, caused TBI. Wow. Okay. I mean, all I can tell you is this, bro. I knew this was coming to Colombia, and I tried to warn people. People thought I was just trying to keep people from coming to Colombia. No, I'm trying to tell you because I watch the news here on the regular. Because I be trying to figure out what's going to affect me, as I'm living here. Hell, you got to find out what's going to affect me, which is why I watch these political shows and read these newspapers, because, hey, if it's something affecting an expat, I'm an expat. I need to know what's going on.
Always.
And I heard about this back in 2020. They were talking about it. And something must have happened to trigger this. Something had to happen.
But it's happening worldwide. If something happened to trigger this, and it's happening worldwide. So instead of us complaining about it, man, we need to find ways to deal with it. Okay? Complaining ain't gonna stop us.
No. Let's see. What's up, Markel? I'm looking at my passport. I don't see anything that shows I'm a vet. Don't have to be on your passport. When they scan your code, all your info comes up. Hell, they got face recognition. When you go to the airport in the States, they already know everything about you. From the time you walk in the airport, your face, boop, all your info right there. Everything.
Passport that you should have a barcode or some kind of numbers on your passport. When you scan that passport, all your information comes up on into the screen, on the computer screen. They can see everything about you. You may not see it. You may not even know it. It's designed to be that way. They don't want you to know that they're checking you all the way out. You know, so you may not see it, but they can see your record when they
They
scan your
got it here in Colombia, Bobby D. I don't know if they got it in the Philippines, but in Colombia, when you get off the airport, you go down this corridor. There's a camera sitting right there. They have you walk down a certain path. That camera is hitting your face,
Yeah,
so they know who the hell you are.
they got
There
that.
ain't no there ain't no hiding, dude. There
That's
ain't no
what
hiding.
every person who comes to the Philippines, their picture is photographed, and so they know who's coming in. So if anything happens, they're gonna go back and check that picture. They're gonna scan you, figure out who you are, where you came. That's how they found a lot of terrorists come through here. They go back and scan the picture and figure out who they are, when they came in, everything. So they know who you are, and they're gonna get more detailed about it. You know, you can't stop these people from making laws that protect their country. You cannot do that. So we would respect the laws of the country and do what they ask us to do. What's wrong with that?
Let's see. As a black veteran, Bobby D, we fought in 2 wars for this country. I will never accept discrimination, nor will I tolerate it. Period. Not me. Each their own. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
You have the right to say that, and you have the right to accept it or not accept it. And you might be right. It could be. It is discrimination. But are we to change that? I mean, what can we do to change that? These countries make the laws. I can't say, well, I'm not going there because I'm not. If you don't want to go, don't go. But you have to respect the right for them to make the laws pertinent to their country. I understand your point, Wayne. You fought for your country. You want to be discriminated against. And, rightfully so. You shouldn't have to be, but that's the way the world is going to. And you got to deal with it.
if these countries want monetary aid from the U.S., they need to make plan for all vet if they want U.S. aid. Yeah, that's not gonna stop. That aid ain't gonna stop, bro. You know that.
Oh,
All the aid that the U.S. give is for strategic purposes,
right.
not just they being nice. That's for strategy, dude. That's no, they ain't stopping that. That's not gonna stop that.
Not going to happen. Fact. They're going to keep paying these countries money because they want some certain other things from them. Like the
Right.
Philippines, you would have thought that when Duterte was in office, he put down the United States for years. He talked dog like I talked about us like a dog, and he wanted to pull up Russia, kissing Russia's feet, kissing China's feet, And so, did we put them down? Did we stop the aid from them? No. You know why? Because we need them. And we know that they keep putting money in them, they're gonna keep stay with us. No matter what they say, it's what they do to them. We need the Philippines is strategically located in in South Indo-Asia, so that when there's a war or something, we use these people to fill up our planes and get
Right.
back with China.
It's
That's why
all strategic.
they go South China Sea, West Philippine Sea right now. It's still all the Africa and still in everything else. And the United States said, look, we got a treaty with you, Philippines. You let China do this, we can stop that. And China said, well, I don't know. They're still sitting on the fence. But China, these countries, we're gonna keep paying Philippine money. Any country that's give us strategic advantage in the world, we're gonna hang with it. Okay? We're gonna give them aid. That's
Yep.
what we have to
We
do.
gonna give them anything they want to
Yeah,
keep them in our graces. Hey, what you need? Okay, you got
right. One
it.
thing ain't gonna stop us from being partners with our alliance. You can't do
No.
that.
Oh yeah, they know we vets. Yep, them biometric cameras. I'm sure they have a file on me. I'm 100% PTSD. Wow.
Hey man, uh, I'm sorry to hear that, man, but it is what it is. You did your time in the country for your service, and you got injured, but that's the way life is, man. You're gonna have if one country won't let you in, you have to go somewhere else that will. So make adjustments.
Let's see, Brother Wayne Keys. The U.S. is sharing our information in order to whip the rest of the civilian nation to follow the U.S. lead when it comes to sharing information to keep criminal activity out. Yeah, they're gonna share. There's extradition in a lot of these countries. There's some countries like the DR that don't have extradition,
Right,
but most of these countries that the U.S. have alliances with, they got extradition.
right.
You come running over to Colombia thinking you hiding? No, you're not. No,
That's
you're
all like
not.
this. They think they're gonna run from the Popo to the Philippines. And all that. Nah, you might hide for a little while, but they'll get you. And it's a good thing that you want to stop criminals from wherever they go. If they have a treaty or they have an alliance that you can extradite somebody, more power to you. I think it should be that way. You know? If you did something wrong, you need to stand up. Stop running from the law. Stand up, face what you did, and deal with it. You know? Care where you are in this world.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you think SSDI will fall under this? I think it's mainly gonna be mental health, dude. Right now, they're focusing on because if you right now, if you were to call now and try to talk to a lawyer here trying to get citizenship and they know you're 100% PTSD, they won't even take your case. They won't even take it. Now, when it comes to SSD, I'm sorry, Social Security, disability, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Okay. I haven't heard anyone talk about, okay, well, what if you just mental health for Social Security? I don't know. I don't know. All I know is they're focusing on veterans with PTSD.
Yeah, veterans, you have PTSD, you need to take your treatments. You need to uh, try to get your best to get medically correct or to get adjusted for that, some kind of way to get out of that, or get some type of medical certificate. Let them people know that you're not no longer a threat, stuff like that. Because this is coming down hard on people like that, that have the PTSD. And it's sad that it's happening like that, but you got to look at this. People, the countries are trying to protect themselves. And it's not about they want to discriminate against you because you got PTSD. It's about being protecting their people, protecting the laws, and protecting the country. And sometimes protecting the people with PTSD. Sometimes people with PTSD don't even know they're harm and threat themselves, because they don't take their medication. You know, I had a brother that my brother had some PTSD. He passed down from God bless him, but he was fine. He was fine. He was 100% disabled. He was fine when he was on his meds. But you let him go one day off his meds. We couldn't talk to him. He want to fight. All kind of craziness, man. And I love my brother. But when he put the medicine, I didn't want to be around him. So if that's the people that they're trying to target. People that off their meds and off their rock. That's what we're trying to target.
Let's see. Hey, Markel, it's weird the DR doesn't have extradition though, but it seems the DR and the US is close. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird how we have some relationship, like for example, here in Colombia. We have extradition in Colombia, but Colombia can tax your Social Security. They can tax your VA if they want to. If you become a citizen here, they have the right to tax all of it because we have no agreements when it comes to taxes with Colombia.
Right.
We have no agreements on record, none. And you're supposed to file taxes here every year, and they share all that information. So there's no point in lying. Say, "Oh, I only get this." No, they know what you get. But it's weird how some countries we do this part, but we don't do that part. So I don't know how this works out with the DR not having extradition, but here they do. I can tell you they do for sure here.
They have extradition in the Philippines, but as far as taxes, uh, if you're a resident here, you don't have to pay Philippine taxes. If you're a permanent resident, like I am, I don't pay their tax. I pay U.S. tax. But if you're not a resident, you still have, and you're not a permanent resident, you have to pay taxes here as well. So it's a lot of laws, and you people, wherever you go in this country, in the world, you got the country, you got to learn the laws where you're moving to and adjust yourself accordingly. Because you could be breaking the laws unknowingly, and then
Yeah.
popo knocking on your door. They want to
Yeah.
you want to deport you because you don't broke the law.
Yeah, a lot of people when they come, they're still under the US laws. They're
Right.
not under the laws of wherever country you're in. They thinking when they doing something, well, it's legal in the States. This ain't the
Right.
States.
Maybe
This ain't the States.
they don't think about that. You have to think about that kind of stuff wherever you go in this world, whenever you leave the country.
No, somatic symptom disorder. Wayne, I honestly don't have an answer for you on that. All I can do, man, is refer you back to that link that I put on there because it said basically it didn't even mention really PTSD. It mentioned mental health disorders that are rated 60% or higher. You got a mental health disorder that's higher than 60%. Okay, they're not going to approve you for a visa. Period. That's just how they worded it in the link. Okay, that went out to everybody.
It makes sense to me, man. If you when you say you have a mental health disorder, a rating, that means that you're more likely to go off than somebody else that don't have that. I mean, it just makes sense.
Let's see what happens when they tell high-ranking O6 through 10 who have PTSD they can't come. And for the record, yeah, PTSD doesn't mean you're violent. No, no, not saying that. Definitely not saying that. All I'm doing, dude, all we're trying to do is explain either what's coming or what has already happened in certain countries. That's basically it, right? This is not to try to bash people who have PTSD or put people down who have PTSD. And this is not a new conversation. This is a conversation Love and Freedom and I talked about 6, 7 months ago when we said, hey, you're a veteran who has mental health and you come into these countries, do not be surprised if you get turned around at the airport and you're not going to understand why. And it's mainly because somebody who came before you, that's usually how it happens. It's always someone who came before you, screwed it up, or they had an episode or whatever may have happened, and the country freaked out and said, you know what? We can't handle this. You know, we can't handle it. Because there is a large community of veterans here. There is. You know, I see some of them when I go to this third-party clinic here in Sabaneta. There's a lot of them here. And a lot of them are aware that when it comes time to renew their visa, they're not going to get their visa renewed to stay another 3 years or whatever the period is. They're well aware of this. But it's just the climate that we're in right now where something I had to have happened to somebody high up, a high official or somewhere, they got told something to where now they're implementing this rule here. And it's probably going to spread to other countries.
How many? What would you estimate the amount of people that have overstayed their visa in Colombia? The amount of
Overstayed their visa?
like the visa expired and they're still there.
Oh, that's a small percentage because here you can be arrested on the spot. It's illegal as hell here. You can't just okay, I'll put it to you this way. So the way it works here is you can stay when you first come in the country, you get 90 days, you can stay on your visa.
Right.
You can get it extended another 90 days for a total of 180 days here legally, just on your passport. Okay. Once you go past that, there's one other thing you can do. I forgot what it's called, but you can go to immigration. They'll give you this little slip of paper and it's good for another 14 days. So you can actually stay 180, 14, 194 days. But you're liable for taxes after the 183rd day. You're supposed to file taxes here because you're liable for taxes after that. But once you stay past 194 days here in Colombia, you persona non grata. Now, if they catch you, they can arrest you on the spot and ship you back to the U.S. at your dime. They're gonna bill you. They're not billing you, they billing you. And also what happens is, depending on the immigration officer you get, they may ban you for 6 months, they may ban you for a year, or in some cases, people have been banned for life. They can never come back to this country. So overstaying here is a big deal.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody fool you and tell you overstaying here is not a big deal. This is not the Dominican Republic. In the DR, you can stay over there 20 years over. When you get ready to leave, just pay your fine. You come right back the next day. They don't care because you're paying for it. Not in Colombia. They don't play that.
Whole lot of people overstay here, man. They really don't care that much, but if you act a fool up here, they'll find out you overstay, they kick you out immediately. But it's a big problem. Big problem.
Now, what do they do when they make them pay a fine?
If they catch you and you're overstaying, you got two things. You pay your fine, you pay. You don't pay the fine, they kick you out. They kick you out immediately.
And you can come back?
Yeah, you come. Well, no, they put you on a blacklist. They call it a blacklist. You cannot come back. Your name's on that blacklist.
You can't come to the Philippines.
But they put you on a blacklist and you cannot come back in this country whatsoever. You're on persona non grata. They don't want you. You cannot enter this country. But there's a lot of people here overstaying. A lot. That's why when you come over here and you see somebody, hey man, what's up? They don't want to be bothered with you because they don't want, especially don't take no pictures of nobody when you come out here. So they'll be like, what are you doing? Give me that camera. Out here, man. Philippines, I don't know what it is, man. The Philippines attract a lot of people that running from the po-po or just don't want to be found. You know? That's what it is. But yeah, that's why when you come out here, don't be buddy up on nobody like like y'all just because they black and you black, you don't see many black. You hey man, nah, keep on keep it moving. Serious, man, you stay out of trouble like that. I learned that thing, man. I had to learn that.
You think you back in the States? Hey, what's up, brother? What's going on? And no, he got time for that.
Get that camera down. There's a lot of people running from the popo. I don't know how it is out there. Is that way out there in Colombia? People running from the popo come out there?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of people running from the police. More so here, you get some crazies. You get some real nutbags out here, dude. And you get the ones. I'll tell you the main ones you get here. You get a lot of the ones from the hood. They would come out here, want to get on YouTube and want to try to prove how tough they are by going in some of these barrios. They get their ass whooped. Now they mad at the country. Yeah.
I don't want to go that route. Nah, I don't read about the barrios. I don't want no part of it. I don't read about the cartel out there in the barrios. I used to think I wanted to go to Colombia. Nah, not since I read that stuff.
And I keep trying to tell them, Bobby D, because they have this fantasy in their head that it's safer here than in America. And I'm like, dude, you got terrorists just outside the country. I mean, just outside the city, in the mountains. You take your ass up in the mountains and you see how safe it is.
I mean, they do what they want to do. There's no law. You could be living next door to a terrorist. You come in and knock on the door, you shoot. What do you say? No reason. But Colombia is like the Wild Wild West. Compared to the USA, like the Wild Wild West. From what I've read, what's the name of that guy? Pablo Escobar, whatever.
Pablo.
Huh?
Pablo Escobar.
Escobar, yeah. He messed up Colombia.
Escobar, yeah.
Oh, because of drugs. He wanted to be the drug king of the world. That's what he became. And he made Colombia one of the drug king countries of the world. That's still out there to a certain degree. They cleaned it up to some degree, but
right. But it's not when people come, they don't know the history of this country. This city was considered the murder capital of the world, not of Colombia, of the world. And all those lieutenants, all those cartels are not gone. They're not gone. They just made agreements with them. There's certain parts of this city, Bobby D, you should never go in because the police is not coming in there. They're not going to go in there and get you. You on your own. And when people come here, people try to explain that to them, but they tell them in Spanish. And most of the people that come here don't understand a lick of Spanish. So they don't get what they're saying. But they'll learn the hard way. A lot of them come here and got their ass whooped and learn the hard way.
Yeah, they won't do it again.
Let me say this. Anyone that's graduated from boot camp in a military institution, in my eye, is a lethal weapon, period. Okay, Mr. Miles?
Yeah. That could be true to some degree.
I mean, you got training to kill, basically. And some of us took steps going beyond that. Rangers, SEALs, or whatever. You really train to kill.
Yeah. Well, listen, when you get through boot camp, it puts 20 years more added to your life because you've endured so much. You built your body up. You built your mentality up. You're stronger mentally, emotionally, physically. So there's something to that.
So what happens to vets who retire there and brought property and have PTSD? So what they going to tell them to sell their property and leave? That's a great question. Do not have the answer to that one. Don't have the answer.
Question.
If I had to guess, I would probably say they'd probably tell them, yeah, you're going to have to probably leave and you can rent out your place or do whatever you need to do with it. But this was one of the reasons why when people were asking me back 2 years ago, am I thinking about buying here? Hell no, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, and the market fluctuates too much for me. I'm losing money. So it was like, no, I'm good renting. Since I've been renting, had I bought a place when I first moved here 4 years ago, I'd probably be $60,000, $70,000 upside down. And since I've been renting, my rent has continued to go down, down, down. So no. That's why I won't buy a property here, because they can make a rule, a law at any time they want to say, if you are a gringo and you bought this property, your property taxes are now 40%. They can do whatever the hell. This is their country. They can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
That's why I always leave my options open. And I never try to just settle in on something unless I'm married to a Colombian woman. We decide we're going to live here, then cool. Then I'm just going to deal with whatever it is. But be on my own, I'm never going to do that. No. because I don't know what they're gonna do.
That's why I locked in here. I'm buying here because, but for this year I wouldn't be buying it, man. I rent, but she
That's what I'm
wanted.
telling you. Cause you don't know what these countries are going to do. They could make a rule tomorrow
You got to
that
go.
your whole world is now upside down. And ain't a damn thing you can do about it but raise hell. That's it. That's all you can do.
You got to deal with it. And if you don't like it, get up and go. Leave. That's it.
That's it. Let's see. These countries have enough issues with their own. They're trying to address and minimize the potential of mental incidents. Yeah, I think she said possibility of mental
Right.
issues. You're
And there's
right.
nothing wrong with that.
I
Yeah.
mean, people. I understand, guys. You're upset. I understand this is not something you want to hear. But I'd rather tell you the truth than you go somewhere you're not allowed in and you don't understand why. Or you somewhere you got a visa last year or 3 years ago, but you can't get a visa now and you don't know why. This is why. This is the new rule. This is what they're coming up with. This is probably going to spread all throughout because once one country picks something up, the rest usually follow.
Yeah. And you should be aware of what's happening, the trends that we're looking at, so that you can prepare yourself accordingly and stop trying to buck against it, man. Just
Richie
understand
Rich.
what's happening out there. That's why Markel's bringing it to you. He wants you to be aware of what's coming down the pike, so you can get yourself ready for it. That's all it is.
They want the mangoes.
Man, give me the mango. Give me the
Hey,
mango.
Bobby D, they got groups here now. They got a little area where all the street girls are. And they
Okay.
got groups out there now that they didn't figure it out. They ain't got to do nothing now. They can just rob them. Because most of these guys coming, they too embarrassed to say they got robbed or whatever happened. So now they drug them, beat them up, and rob them.
Mm.
And they don't report it. A lot of them don't say nothing. They just. But hey, that's the lifestyle they want to live.
Yeah,
Hey, let them do it.
that's crazy, man. You're gonna get in a bad area and then you get robbed, and you too embarrassed to say you was robbed. You went in the first place, Ain't trying to be better than life, and you know you ain't that. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. That's not
Hey,
don't go there.
that's one reason why some of them come. That's the only reason why some of them come. They're
Yeah, they
not coming for any other reason.
they want to just get a little taste, free taste and cheap taste, and they get messed up in the process. No, it ain't worth it. It is not worth
Hey, Richie Rich. Let's see. Talking to Howard. Talking to James. Yeah, we getting ready to get off here, Bobby D. I know you got to get your show together.
it.
You talking to Richie Rich. Let's see.
Go out
You
someplace.
think you will ever open a business in a me? Hell no. I ain't even attempting. If I open a business, it's strictly online. I wouldn't know.
I
No.
never open a business here because if you open a business in the Philippines and you're a foreigner, the first thing they do, somebody gonna be right next door to you. They're gonna open up and they're gonna shut you down, but they're gonna drop their prices. They're very jealous of foreigners coming out there doing well in the business. They don't like it, so they do everything they can to pull you down. Philippines have what's called a crab mentality. They don't want to see nobody move up, especially a foreigner. Doing better than them, they will find everything, do everything to pull you down. And they'll even make up lies on you. Immigration get you deported to pull you down. So
No,
no,
for me, I looked at possibly opening up a business. First thing I heard was, "Well, do you have money in your business plan for the cartel or the gang that controls this barrio that you're gonna have to pay?" I said, "No, I'm good. I'm not giving somebody some money I work for. I didn't set up, did all the work, and then I'm gonna turn around and give you a percentage of it. No, I'm good. I don't need it that bad.
y'all
I'm
guys got
good.
dangerous stuff out there. You got to deal with the cartel just to open a business. That ain't right.
Hell
Nah.
no, I'm good. I don't need them kind of problems.
Dude,
See, if you get robbed, please let the rest of us know so we can avoid that area. They're not gonna say nothing. Love and freedom, you know that.
many people have gotten robbed and too embarrassed to say they got robbed because they would feel even more humiliated. Nobody wants to feel that embarrassed. You know? So
Bro, there's been so many of them here robbed and whatnot about it. They ain't gonna say nothing. They're too embarrassed. They're too embarrassed. I'm sure you were somewhere you had no business. Of course.
that's why you know not to go there no more. You
Of
would just
course.
get robbed or rat messed up, and then you say, "No, I ain't going there no more."
All right, now Bobby, I got a couple questions for you because I had these questions before and I didn't get an opportunity to ask you. Okay. Now, here in Colombia, there's a number specifically for tourists if they have a problem, they get in trouble, something happens to them. There's an English speaking emergency number. Is there such a number in the Philippines? They go there, they get robbed, they get in a bad situation. Is there a number specifically set up for tourists that they can call?
No, there's no tourist number like that because first of all, Philippines, where everybody speaks English, most people speak some form of English, maybe broken English, but English is the language here in the Philippines, along with Tagalog, which is the national language, two languages. But there's no particular number. You just have to call 911, and then when you call 911 out here, it may take 2 hours for somebody to get back to you, if they get back to you at all. You get busted in the head and you laying on the street, somebody call 911, you waiting on an ambulance, you might pass away before they get to you. So keep yourself clear from violence and keep your nose clean and watch your surroundings wherever you go.
So the actual number in the Philippines for emergencies is 911. That's the actual number.
We just got that about 3 years ago. Now they didn't have that before about 3 years ago. They just had regular local
Wow.
numbers for police. But now they got it's a national 911 number like US said 911 trouble. But they don't like US said they respond within minutes like that out here. They get depends on when they can get to. You know, that's just the way it is out here. That's why if you get sick out here, you in trouble. You kind of think an ambulance gonna come to you like that. It may take 3 or 4 hours to get an ambulance to you, and you
Now,
call
what if
911.
they're in the province? Is that going to take even longer?
Yeah, it's gonna take even longer. If you live in a province, you better have your own transportation. Because if something happens, you better live close to a hospital. Because if something happens, you in trouble. No 911's out there, but it's no telling when they'll get. Have your own transportation or know somebody next door, wherever that you can call and come get you. That's the way it is out
Okay, now establishing credit in the Philippines. First question: is credit important to have in the Philippines? Is that something that you worry about, or is that something that you don't even think about?
here. Credit is similar to the United States out here. You should have credit, but more important than credit to here is who you know. Okay, you can get
Okay.
around a whole lot of stuff. You can have zero income and buy a place. You know, it's who you know. Out here is who you know, who your mama knows, your friend. That's what's more important. But credit's
Same
important.
way here. Yeah.
You know it's more important.
Yeah, like I told them, that's how I end up getting my health insurance here. My driver said that's my cousin. They got a family member that works for the insurance place. She said, okay, wrote up me a policy, never looked at me, nothing, just wrote up a policy.
Who you know, and they have people that will cut through all kind of red tape if you give them some change to the chain. You know, that's all you need. Give them some change to the chain. They cut through all kind of. You can go through a whole lot of red tape and get stuff done that way too.
Okay,
So
now is
credit's
there
important, but it's not as important as it is in the United States.
okay now at banks, because here interest rate is we how's the interest rates there with banks? Say you wanted to buy a vehicle in the Philippines and finance it through whatever bank is there. I don't know what bank is there. HS,
Yo,
what is it, HSBC or whatever it's called.
you see it out here. If you wanted to buy a house to finance it, the banks here, we bought a house. We financed it through a bank. We got a house financed through a bank. We went to BDO, Banco de Oro, which is out here, one of the major banks. The second, this BDO is the largest. BPI is the second largest, Bank of the Philippines. That's the second largest. So we financed it. We got a 8 point. Anyway, it's not as high as other places, but a little bit higher than the U.S. We got an 8 point something percent. We got a 10-year mortgage. We're gonna pay ours. We're gonna pay ours off before 10 years because we can pay more on it every month or every year to pay it down faster. So we'll have ours hopefully paid in the next couple of years to pay it off. But it's some of the other things. But when you buy a house out of your credit's not that big a deal. What they look out here more for is your income. How much money do you have coming in a month? That's what they go by, and they will verify that your monthly income. You
Right.
know, wherever you get income from, whether it's your Social Security, whether it's your retirement income, whether you got a business, they're gonna verify that. That is the most important. How long you been in that business? How long you had that income? That's what we look for. If that income is solid, you
Yeah, here, Bobby D, you cannot pay early. At least what I've been, the accounts that I have, no. You
okay.
got to pay that day that amount. If I wanted to pay 3 months in advance, now you got to pay this. You got to pay this on this day. And I'm going, what? Okay, that's what it is. That's what it is. Okay. But it's different.
They won't let
But
you pay.
the interest rate I've seen here, Bobby D, is high as 42%.
That's highway robbery, man. Are you serious?
40. I'm gonna show you a contract. When we get off, I'm gonna go online and I'm gonna show you a contract. 42%. That was on a car. I said, what? God damn.
I wouldn't find nothing there. You better
So,
off. Rent a. Are you serious, man? Is that the gringo price or is that the Colombian price?
no, that's the gringo price. That's the gringo price.
Yeah, they got the same
gringo price.
Call it the Cano price out here, Americano price. There's two prices: Americano price and the regular Filipino price.
Yeah, that's the gringo price.
All right,
They're gonna hit you in the head. Let's see, man, dealing with my homies in LA. I want them to leave California. Period. Okay, Mr. Miles. Okay, so we talked about credit. Now, when it comes to you already told us about renting and you need checks. I forgot how many checks you say you need, like a year's worth of checks.
You got a year's contract, you need 12 months checks.
Okay, so if you got 6 months, you need 5 or 6 checks.
Right, in advance. Usually the rental contracts here are a year plus, year 2 years. Sometimes you find 6 months.
Okay, when it comes to services, right? How hard is it to turn on your electricity, your cable, your homes, if you get landline, stuff like that? How hard is it there to do that?
It's not that hard. It depends on if somebody was in it before you and they didn't pay, you got to pay that.
Wait. You got to pay their bill?
And whoever was in that particular location, they didn't collect on that. You got trying to get in there, you got to pay that before they turn it off. You put it in your name.
So you pay, you got to pay somebody else's bill in order to turn your lights on.
You have to be paid off, or you cannot rent that until it's paid. You either got to find the people that was there, get them to pay, or
they ain't paying.
Their place, you got to pay yourself. So
wow.
When we was renting, we always made sure is everything paid up before we were renting. And the landlord said, "Yeah, it is." Okay. If he said it wasn't, we find something else. But we had to pay that. And I got stuck one time when I had to pay. The lady fooled me, said it was paid. I get in the place, man, and they get ready to cut our lights on. I said, I don't know nothing. We just started. Just hadn't paid. And I had to wind up paying. It was 3 months. It wasn't that bad, but I still had to pay if we wanted to pay. And we had looked so many places, we didn't want to go no place else. But yeah, that's how it is out here, man.
Well, here you need a cosigner. If you don't have a residency ID, you need a cosigner. Okay. You need a cosigner, or you need to know somebody that'll help you establish it. Because without a cosigner or somebody helping you establish it, they don't give a damn how much money you got in the bank. They're not gonna turn them lights on. It ain't happening.
Okay. Well, out here they have the ACR card. You have to have that too. If you're a foreigner trying to rent or get anything, you can't get nothing done without that card. That's an ACR card. It identifies you as a foreigner in the country, and it tells them where you are, how much money you got, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you have to have that card to get anything done here too as well.
Okay, so a brief synopsis of what we talked about with the vets. So basically, and I've talked about this before here in Colombia, 60% or higher mental health, they're not going to give you a visa. They haven't stopped people from coming in and staying the 6 months that I'm aware of. But if you're looking to extend your time beyond that, like get a pension visa, try to get residency, you 60% or higher with mental health, they're not going to do it here. Bobby D was explaining in the Philippines, there's a future bill coming where they're actually going to put on the application you fill out to enter the country if you're a U.S. veteran or not. And I don't know the actually particulars when it comes to that, but I'm pretty sure it's going to pretty much be the same way when it comes to mental health. They want to see what kind of rating you got for PTSD. Love and Freedom also informed us in Mexico, they're starting to check veterans to see what their percentages are for mental health. So that's coming. That's a real thing. And it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of veterans who, like came to these different countries and decided to live in these countries when they got out of the military. Unfortunately, though, there's some who are having issues, not taking the medication, probably never seen a doctor, never thought about seeing a doctor, never even want to address those issues. And something had to have happened for this whole thing to get kicked off. So that's basically what we were talking about earlier with the vets and PTSD. I'm not saying every veteran is going to get banned. I'm not saying every country is going to do it. But at some point, this is probably going to be the norm where they're going to screen you and make a determination at the airport whether or not to let you in or to send you back to the U.S.
It's just an eye opener for you guys to be aware of what's coming down the pike. We don't like it. May or may not, but that's what we see coming. And so when you see something coming, you want to let people know, hey, look out. Be on the lookout.
He said they need proof where you live so they can come repo that microwave.
Cash. I won't get it. If it ain't paid for cash. When I bought my car, I bought it cash. I bought a used car, but I paid cash. Don't get nothing on credit when you come over.
Oh, hell no. I already know that one, Bobby. You do not finance because you don't understand the contract unless you got somebody explaining to you the contract. You out of your Bobby D. I saw a video. People came here complaining about banks. Okay, you're gonna come and open an account in a local bank and then take your primary money from the US and put it in their bank, and you don't understand their banking system. That's on you.
Yeah,
That ain't on them.
you just lost your money because you didn't pay attention. You didn't know the rules. I'll never do that, man. I keep my USA account. I have accounts here in the Philippines. I've got 3 bank accounts here in the Philippines and 2 bank accounts in the USA. And I'll never let my USA bank account go. But I have the Philippines because it makes my life easier here in the Philippines. I can transfer it to a Filipino bank, get money exchange, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But you always want to make your main money, guys. You travel overseas, make sure you keep it in the states or wherever country. Keep it in your home state. Okay? You can always.
Bobby, that's on them.
Yeah,
Because I would never take my primary money and put it in a foreign bank. I don't understand their system. I barely understand the US banking system. I'm gonna go to a country where they speak a whole different language and take all my money and put it in their bank. Because you gotta understand, when that money leaves the US and it comes to this country, it's no longer the US Treasury's problem. It is now your problem to deal with that bank. So whenever y'all ask me, hey man, you gonna put all your money in Colombia? Hell to the no. Hell no.
I would never do that. But what happens is a lot of these guys come over here and they get these Filipinos and they
Air fry.
talk them to put the money in their bank and put their name on the account. And that's how they get their money. Yeah? That's how they do. They sweet talk.
Yeah, we talked about the gun laws earlier. XB,
Yeah.
AB. Rest in peace to those that lost in the recent massacre, New York to Texas. Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. They got to make changes. They got to make laws. You got to vote out these people, and they need to be term limits.
It's sad, man, that happened, but it will continue to happen until we make critical changes, necessary changes.
Damn. He said Mexico the same way. You got to pay their last bill. I'm like, nah, dog. If they want me to move into that apartment, they paying that bill. I'm not paying that bill. Damn that. No.
I don't like it, man. So if we ever have to move from here, whatever, I'll make sure if we move, we will pay. First thing I check is they paid everything. Everything paid, and then I consider moving in there. Other than that, nah, pay that.
Okay. Last couple questions. I got to get y'all because I know you're going to do your show. When it comes to dating, now my experience in Manila, and I stayed in BGC for 3 months. Okay, you know what BGC is, Bonifacio City. It's close to Makati. It's Makati, close to Makati. Okay. Now, when I was there, because you get this question a lot, are they friendly to the brothers? You got some who are. You got some who won't say nothing to you. From my experience, Filipinos are shy. They're not aggressive. They're not like women here or DR and Mexico. They're not aggressive. They're shy. I've seen the whitening creams that they have in some of the 7-Elevens and some of the pharmacies and the grocery stores, right?
Look.
Because from my understanding, they prefer white skin. But there are some who will date you, who will talk to you, whatever. But it's not I wouldn't say it's the norm. It's not, I wouldn't say it's the norm, but there are some. So, and I try to explain it. If you're going to the Philippines and you're used to Colombia, you're used to the DR, you're used to Mexico, you're used to Brazil, that ain't that kind of party. That's you going somewhere completely different. They're not gonna come up on you and hey, Poppy, yeah, yeah, yeah. No, 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 no. No, they're shy. They may look at you and they're gonna keep walking. Now in the mall, you can stop. Some will talk to you, some will just keep going. But that's was my experience, Bobby D. But you live there, so you chime in.
Well, it's pretty much like you said. Some women out here, some Filipinas will if you find a Filipina that comes up on you, not knowing you, that's unusual, and you want to run away because they're scammer, they jammer, they want your money. That's it, or they hook, they want you to buy. So most Filipinos, are, like you said, are very shy. They don't want to. They don't run up. They're not overly conversationalist. They just, if you look at them, they'll smile and that's it. But they won't come up on you and say, "Hey, how you doing?" If one does do that to you, you know she's probably has some ulterior motive. She's trying to get in your pocket, trying to get you to buy her. So leave them kind of women alone. Most of them are shy. As far as women liking black men out there, just like you said, some of them will, some of them like you, some of them don't. You know? But don't make the mistake to think and then that all of them don't like you and all of them do like you. It depends on the woman. Some Most of the younger people, they don't pretty much care for black men, I'll be honest. Older people die. The younger people, younger girls, they want white folks. That's what they want. They want white men. That's what they want. Most of the younger girls, they want white men. Most of them. Then there's others that there's someone at the other opposite spectrum. Some of them just like black men. You know, there's it's a hodgepodge of different reasons out here. But for the most part, you have to deal with the person you're dealing with and check them out, see what they want you, if they like you for you. And that means you got to deal with them on day in and day out basis, see how they deal with you. That's all it is. But overall, most Filipinos are friendly people. Uh, they're quiet people and they're not aggressive. So if you when you come to the Philippines, you get in a hotel, you get in the airport, and somebody run up on you, it's a female, back off. But you know it ain't right. Most Filipinos will not, a good one, legit, will not do that. Okay? That's a sign that it's a problem. So back off. Uh, but don't come out here and say, well, they don't like black. A lot of them do, and some of them don't. But you have to deal with it on a person basis. Okay? That's how it is.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I get that in there because I was asked this before, and I'm just expressing my opinion from my experience that I had in Manila in BGC. Now BGC, that's like the metropolitan. That's like a small version of New York.
Yeah,
Okay, BGC. All right, it's Bonifacio City.
yeah.
Am I saying that right? Bonifacio.
Bonifacio.
I know I'm
Bonifacio.
saying it wrong. It's Bolica. I'm saying
Okay.
K. What?
Bonifacio City.
Right, Bonifacio. Okay.
Bonifacio City.
Now it costs to live in BGC. I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you it's cheap to live in BGC. You ain't paying $200-300 to live in BGC. You ain't got 1,200 and above. Don't even go to BGC. You might as well walk and go down to downtown Manila or go to the other end.
Anywhere in that area, Manila area, is higher than any place else in the country. It's like Manila. When you live in Manila, it's just the prices is pretty much like the USA. All right. Okay. But if you live in a province, in a little smaller town like maybe Cebu, it's gonna be a little bit cheaper for you. That's why I would never live in Manila because it's too high. And Manila's like little New York. Fast. People always want to try to run a game on, especially Makati in those areas.
Yeah,
They
Makati is nice. I like Makati. I like
party.
BGC. I just didn't like how small the apartments are. They're compared to the US, okay? Because I know that's traditional there, but in comparison to where you come from, do not rent an Airbnb without checking the square footage. If you rent an Airbnb in the Philippines, I'm telling y'all this from experience. You better check the meters against feet and see if that's something you can stay in. Because just because it looked nice, that was a wide angle camera that took those photos. That wasn't a normal lens that took them photos. Because when you move into that apartment, it's got all the stuff in there that you see, but it's all shrink for a child, for an adult.
You're right. Everything here as far as etc. Everything's tiny. Uh, because people here are tiny. People, most for the most part, they're tiny people, short, most of them skinny. So I don't know what it is, but any homes and apartments and Airbnb, everything is tiny out here. That's one thing I have a hard time with. If you're American, you'll have a hard time living with a small room. Then it's supposed to be you paying for all that big money, you got a tiny place. Like what? This no place? All this money? Nah. But that's the way it is. Anywhere you go, it's gonna be like that. We were fortunate. We found a house that had American-sized rooms. Thank goodness. And we had looked at about 30 houses. This only house had American-sized rooms. We jumped there. We jumped there. So you're gonna find it's gonna be hard to find any kind of dwelling place with a regular American-sized place. That's just the way it is. And if you get a condo, it'd be a studio condo, and everything's shrunk together. You have kitchen, everything in one little room, and the bathroom on the side with a little small door. Everything's tiny out here, guys. So don't be surprised
Everything.
if you can't find anything larger. You're a big guy. Might be claustrophobic when you get out.
Bobby D, you can reach out and touch all the walls just like
That's, that's how this culture is. Everything here is tiny. I don't care where you go. You try to find a place, everything is tiny. So you have to get used to that. Don't come out here. You go.
that's why, hey, Bobby D, that's why I'm telling them now, based upon what I know, from what I experienced,
Right.
because you have, and that girl told me when I was coming, you better check the square meters. Because if you come in just looking at them photos, you're gonna think this is the biggest place in the US. No, it's not.
Nah,
No, it is not.
he's right, guys. Everything out here is tiny, and you have to understand that before you put your money down. Let the pictures fool you. Like you said, get the square meters and measure. I want those square meters before you do anything. And people will have to deal with that. And once you get used to it if you have to come out here. But it's not a big a deal once you get used to this. You get used to it.
Last thing, taxis. Okay, there's certain taxis you want to pay attention to when you come out of the Manila airport. All right, you
Right.
got the white taxis, you got the yellow taxis, and I forgot those other taxis, Bobby. There's another set of taxis. Uh, I'm trying to remember how it goes. One of them is higher that charges a lot. I think it's the white ones. I think the white ones are the ones that charge a lot more.
Charge more.
Yeah, they usually the ones that got nobody in line. That's how you know. Okay, this is how you know at the airport when you got a taxi that's high.
Yeah, that's how you know for sure.
The yellow ones, they're gonna be a long ass line because that's the cheap taxi. The white one ain't nobody in line. You can just walk right up.
Now that's in Manila. But when you come to Cebu, it's on the opposite. In Cebu, the yellow one you want to stay away from. The white one, so it's totally opposite here in Cebu, but in Manila, that's the way it is. But in general, when you get a taxi out here, you want to make sure it has a meter. Because a lot of them don't have no meter. They say, how much you charge me? And you got to tell them. They jack up the price 2 and 3 times what it should be, just to get your money. And when you're a new foreigner,
They're gonna drive you around in circles.
yeah, you don't care. You just want to get where you want to go. You paying whatever, okay? And so they know that they take advantage of new forms. So that's one thing that you can get ripped off from taxi drivers easy. So be careful with that, guys. Check, understand where you're going. Understand the rates before you get there. Understand from where the airport to where you're going, how long it is, what's the distance, and what are the average rates. That's what you want to find out before you move to these countries. If you're the kind of person like me, don't like to be ripped off.
Yeah, man, because it's a trip. It's a trip, man. When you go somewhere for the first, but what I do, Bobby D, is I use Google Maps to
Yeah,
figure out where I'm supposed to be going and what direction,
right.
and see if they've taken me in the right direction. Because they'll drive you around in circles, the same neighborhood, just in circles. Because you ain't never been there. You don't know where the hell you're going. And then you get done. The Airbnb says it's a 5-minute drive. You've been riding for 30 minutes. You like, where the hell we going?
All over the world. And you don't even know it.
One of the things though that I do when I go to a country I've never been to and I'm staying at a hotel, the hotel usually has airport shuttles. That
Right,
way you don't even deal with the taxi. You
right.
call the hotel, let them know when you're gonna be there. When you get there, the airport shuttle's already sitting there with your name, Oh,
Wait.
that's where I'm going right there. You get in there, you can tip the driver if you want to, but he's taking you right to the hotel. That's how you avoid a lot of BS for
That's
those
right.
of you that's staying, at a hotel. That's how you avoid BS.
That's right.
Let's see. All right, Bobby, we about to get all. Let's see. If I said it were chasing the local hotties, we'll definitely report the microwave for the local hotties, for the local thoughts. Just being transparent, my brother.
Yes, sir. All right, I got
Let's see. I think all
you.
Asian places, yeah, they all small.
Most of them are all small. Asian people are small people, and that's just everything they do is small.
I ain't getting on no damn jitney, dude.
Or
hell,
Jeep, I have Jeep,
hell no.
Jeep, Jeep, Jeep,
Jeepney,
and
yeah, I'm not getting on no jeepney, bro.
RD. Man. You don't want that. You don't want. I don't want. I've been in one. I've been in a few, but I've been enough to know I don't want to get in no more.
Hell no. I ain't getting on jeepney, dude. Celtics up by 21. Jeez, they killing them. All right, last one. Let's see. Great show with all the new vets getting out with PTSD, and pretty these countries will make an exception for them in the future. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's hard to say. Um, I have no idea what's gonna happen in the future, man. All I know is that if people continue to freak out in these countries, they're gonna make laws even stronger to the point it may be at the airport they screening you to see before you even get on the plane. Hey, they're not gonna allow you in this country. You're gonna have to change your plans or change your flights. Who knows where it's gonna go from that point? You don't know.
Got to be alert and understand where you're going, what their laws are before you get there, so you won't be
Yeah.
confronted and then get have to be turned around.
Yeah, like somebody was asking earlier about buying property. You may want to check in that country first to see what may be coming down the pike
Right.
before you decide to invest somewhere that you may not even be allowed to come in.
Only-
It reminds me, and last thing, it reminds me when I was living on the base at Luke Air Force Base in Surprise, Arizona. I was coming in one day and they had a guy that I knew that lived on the base as well. His ID card, they didn't renew it. They changed his 100%, so he didn't have his ID card at the time. Now it doesn't matter, but back then, you could only get on the base with a 100% ID card. Well, they lowered his rating. He went from 100 to 70. He was no longer allowed to get on base. He couldn't even drive to go back to his own place.
What?
Couldn't even go back in. He had to get special permission to go in and get all this stuff to get out.
Move.
And that's when they changed the rules. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future with this. I have no idea where all this is going to lead. All I know is this is what's happening right now, real time. This is what's going on right now. Well, Bobby D, I appreciate you coming on, bro.
Okay.
Always glad to have you on. Looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Got some information for you for tomorrow.
Okay, Mark. Yeah. Y'all take care. Peace.
All right,
See you.
Bobby D.
Take care.
All right, guys. So again, I appreciate everybody watching, man. And you know what? Don't freak out about this vet stuff, the PTSD. All I'm trying to do, man, is keep you guys informed. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm not trying to keep anybody from traveling. We just want to keep you informed of what's going on. That's all I'm trying to do. Not trying to hate, not trying to keep somebody from coming somewhere they want to go. It's just that I would rather you know what's going on instead of you being at the airport completely confused as to why you can't come in the country. This is a reason why. Okay. But all right, guys, I appreciate everybody watching. I'm about to go see the rest of this Boston Miami game. Until the next time, guys, we out. Peace.